watch this before midnight, or forget what I'm about to tell you. That's not a hook. That's not clickbait. That's how consciousness actually works. There's a threshold, a point in each day where awareness resets, where understandings that weren't anchored simply dissolve. And midnight is that point. Not symbolically. Actually. You've experienced this before. You had a realization late at night. Something clicked. Something made perfect sense. And you thought, I'll remember this. This is important. But you didn't write it down. You didn't speak it out loud. You didn't anchor it. And the next morning, gone. Not dimmed. Not faded. Gone. Like it never happened. Like you never understood it at all. And you probably thought that was just normal, forgetting, just how memory works. But it's not. It's something specific, something that happens at the boundary between days. A reset mechanism in consciousness that clears temporary understandings. And if you don't anchor what you learned before that reset hits, it gets cleared with everything else. Let me show you how this works. Consciousness operates in cycles, daily cycles, and each cycle has a beginning and an end. When you wake up, a new cycle starts. Your awareness opens. Your mind begins receiving, processing, understanding. And throughout the day, you accumulate insights, realizations, moments of clarity. Some of them stick automatically. Some of them need to be anchored. And some of them exist in a temporary state, waiting to see if you'll claim them or let them go. Midnight is the claiming deadline, the point where consciousness looks at everything you learned that day and asks, what's staying? What's going into permanent memory? What's being integrated into who you are? And whatever you haven't actively chosen to keep, whatever you haven't anchored through attention or action or articulation, gets released, cleared, deleted from the temporary storage of daily awareness. It's not punishment, it's efficiency. Your mind can't keep everything. It would overload. So it keeps what matters, what you marked as important through your actions, through your focus, through your repetition, and everything else, it assumes you didn't need it. So it lets it go. And here's the thing. This process happens whether you're aware of it or not. Every night, every midnight, the reset comes, and understandings that weren't anchored disappear. And the next day, you wake up knowing you understood something yesterday, but you can't remember what it was. You have the ghost of the insight, the feeling that something was important, but not the insight itself. That's what's at stake right now. Whatever you understand from this video, whatever clicks, whatever shifts in your perception as you listen to these words, it exists in temporary awareness. And if you don't anchor it before midnight, it resets. You'll remember watching this video, but you won't remember why it mattered. You'll remember something felt important, but not what it was. So, the question is, what do you do with that? How do you anchor understanding? How do you make sure what you learn doesn't dissolve at midnight? The answer is simple, but specific. You have to move it from passive reception to active claiming. You have to do something with it, not tomorrow, now, before the reset. Here's what that looks like. If something in this video makes sense to you, if something clicks, if you have a moment of, oh, that's how it works, you can't just nod and keep listening. You have to pause. You have to speak it out loud, or write it down, or make a decision based on it. You have to move it from the temporary space of I'm hearing this to the permanent space of I know this. Speaking it out loud is the fastest anchor. Sound creates vibration. Vibration creates physical change. Physical change creates memory. When you speak an understanding, you move it from abstract thought into concrete expression. And that expression anchors it, makes it real, makes it yours. Writing it down works too. The act of forming words with your hand, of seeing the thoughts exist outside your mind, that creates anchor. That tells consciousness, this matters, keep this, integrate this. But the strongest anchor, acting on it, making a decision based on the understanding, changing something in your life because of what you just realised. That doesn't just anchor the insight, that embeds it, makes it part of your structure, part of how you operate. And if you do none of those things, if you just passively receive the information and think interesting and move on, it's gone by midnight. Guaranteed. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. Here's what most people don't understand about memory. It's not a recording. It's not a hard drive that captures everything and stores it permanently. It's a decision-making mechanism. Consciousness is constantly choosing what to remember and what to forget. And it makes those choices based on what you demonstrate is important. If you pay attention to something, memory assumes it matters. If you think about something multiple times, memory assumes it matters. If you act on something, memory knows it matters. But if you just passively receive information without engaging with it, memory assumes it's background noise. Disposable, temporary. And midnight is when memory makes its final decisions. When it looks at everything from that day and sorts it into keep and release. And whatever you haven't marked as important through your attention and action gets released. This is why you can watch an entire movie and the next day remember almost nothing about it. You were passively receiving, not actively engaging. So your consciousness filed it as entertainment. Temporary, not worth the storage space. And at midnight, it cleared most of it out, keeping only fragments, impressions, vague feelings about whether you liked it or not. But if you watch a movie and pause it to discuss a scene with someone, if you write down a quote that hit you, if you make a decision to change something in your life based on what you saw, that gets anchored, that gets marked as important. And midnight doesn't clear it, it integrates it. The same thing happens with insights, with realizations, with moments of understanding. If you just let them pass through without engaging, they're gone by midnight. But if you claim them, if you mark them as important through your actions, they become permanent. And here's where it gets interesting. Midnight isn't just the reset point, it's also the integration point. When you anchor an understanding before midnight, when you claim it and mark it as important, the reset process doesn't delete it. Instead, it processes it, integrates it, weaves it into your permanent awareness. Think of it like this. Your consciousness is a garden. Every day, seeds get planted. Insights, ideas, realizations. And by the end of the day, some of those seeds have sprouted. Some are just sitting on the surface. And midnight is when the gardener comes through and decides what stays and what gets cleared away. If you watered a seed, if you paid attention to it, if you nurtured it through action, or focus or articulation. The gardener sees that and says, okay, this one matters. Let's let it grow. And that seed gets integrated into the garden, becomes part of the permanent landscape. But if you didn't water it, if you just let it sit there without engaging with it, the gardener assumes it was a random seed that blew in on the wind, not intentionally planted, not important, and clears it away to make room for tomorrow's seeds. That's the midnight reset, not deletion of everything. Selective integration of what you marked as important and release of everything else. And the reason this matters, the reason I'm telling you this, is because you're receiving seeds right now. This video is planting understandings, ideas about how consciousness works, realizations about memory and integration, and the importance of claiming what you learn. And if you just passively listen and don't do anything with it, these seeds won't sprout. They'll be cleared at midnight. And tomorrow you'll vaguely remember watching a video about something important, but you won't remember what it was. But if you engage with it now, if you pause and speak one insight out loud, if you write down one realization, if you make one decision based on what you're understanding, that anchors it, that marks it as important. And midnight doesn't clear it. Midnight integrates it. So here's what I want you to do. Not later. Right now. While you're still in the window. While the seeds are still fresh. Pick one thing from this video that resonated. One idea that clicked. One understanding that felt true. And speak it out loud. Just one sentence. Consciousness resets at midnight. I have to anchor insights before I lose them. Understanding requires action, not just reception. Whatever feels most true to you, speak it out loud, right now, because that one sentence, that one act of claiming, that's what anchors everything else. That's what tells the midnight reset, keep this. This matters. This person engage with this, integrate it. And once you anchor one understanding, the rest become easier to anchor. Because you've created a pathway, a habit of claiming, a pattern of engagement. And that pattern strengthens every time you use it. Here's the deeper truth about the midnight reset. It's not just about forgetting, it's about becoming. Every night, when consciousness integrates what you anchored and releases what you didn't, you're literally choosing who you become tomorrow. You're selecting which understandings to carry forward, which insights to build into your structure, which realizations to let shape your next day. And most people do this unconsciously. They let the default mechanisms decide. They anchor whatever grabbed their attention loudest, whatever triggered the strongest emotion, whatever repeated the most, and they lose everything subtle, everything quiet, everything that required active choice to claim. But you don't have to do it that way. You can choose consciously. You can decide, this understanding matters to me. This insight is important. This realization will shape how I move tomorrow. And you can anchor it intentionally, before midnight, before the reset. And when you do that, when you consciously choose what to integrate, you're not just remembering better, you're actively constructing yourself, deliberately, intentionally, choosing the insights that build the version of you that you want to become. That's what this video is really about. Not just memory tricks, not just avoiding forgetting, but conscious self-construction. Using the midnight reset as a tool instead of letting it use you. Because the reset happens either way. Question is, are you participating in it? Are you choosing what gets integrated? Or are you letting default mechanisms make all the decisions while you passively watch yourself forget what mattered? If this video changed something in you, write in the comments, I anchor what matters. Write it as you're claiming nobody.